Alright, let's get to it. For Mythic Artificer, you're going to want 2 tanks, and then you're going to want either 4 or 5 healers. We prog with 4, but this boss ended up giving us a lot of trouble. And a 5th healer actually helps you cover up a few of the oopsies. Withering Touch actually really slaps as a debuff in this fight. So 5 healers for prog might be the safer play. You definitely have the DPS for each of the pushes that you need to do with just 13 DPS. So it's up to you. The 4 healer strat does make it a lot easier to limp this fight home after that third overlap of mechanics comes out. So that's kind of the decision there. For DPS, you can split in melee ranged. It does help tremendously to have 5 immunities for the second overlap soak. And then as far as seed runners go, we assigned pretty mobile classes, druids, mages, obviously, hunters, that kind of thing. Even warlocks actually did a pretty good job for us running the seeds. So the thing with all that, there's not a lot to set up. This fight really just comes down to your DPS and your healers, everybody basically being able to execute mechanics. I say that a lot. What I mean is here, the emphasis really has to be there. You don't have like a second or even a half a second to greed in a lot of the cases because of just the way things like the ghosts work. So you really have to emphasize that point to your raid, and you really have to learn the script. So I'm gonna probably pause quite a bit during the video, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more here at the start, just to lay out for you guys the main thing. So what we're doing is we're trying to push this boss throughout the fight so that we get a long hero burn where there's basically nothing going on. And what that means is we have to get a first push, which is 80%. Between about the 40-second and 50-second mark. That comes pretty naturally. We had to cut our pre-pot usage in about half. Well, pre-pot now in Shadowlands, they're not real pre-pots. You know what I mean. Anyway, so 80%, 40-second, 50-second mark. I have a great WeCore that I'll link in the description that helps you kind of make this forgettable for your raid lead. Helps it emphasize. You'll see it in the middle of my screen. And then the second push, well, let me back up. The first push, what it does is it lines up the portals and the seeds. When you finally start getting the seeds, it lines it up so that you get good portals, you get seeds, and then you get ghosts. So that seeds will explode before the people that are kiting the ghosts have to take the portal. So that's why the first push is important. The second push is important for the reason I kind of mentioned before. What it does, and this is 60% between the 2-minute 10-second mark and the 2-minute 20-second mark. Okay, so you want to hit 60% right there. This lines up those big overlaps. It basically puts them all together into one big series of you just do mechanics and not much else. And then you have long gaps of just pure uptime on the boss right after that. So 2 pushes you need to worry about. Again, I'll link a WeCore for that. So that's kind of the introduction. The last thing I want to mention is there's 2 types of mechanics in this fight. Okay, there's one, which is the snap your neck up. Okay, look at your character's feet, look what's going on around you, and that's the traps. Okay, we had so many people eat unnecessary traps. Oh my god. And then there's beams. The beams pretty straightforward to avoid, but just don't take any unnecessary damage here. And the second type of mechanic is DPS. Put your hands in your pockets. That's that's the only way I can describe it. It's portals, okay, ghosts, and seeds. Any of these mechanics, any sort of greed, any sort of mental error or not being positioned right, especially with ghosts, not having your back away from a wall because the ghosts always spawn behind you, can cascade into a wipe very quickly. Okay, and that's all this comes down to is those 3 mechanics. Again, portals, they have to get dropped out to the proper marks. What I do want to point out before I forget is that here on the left you see our star marker. Okay, our circle marker, unfortunately I have a tank PoV on this fight, so the ranged movements and things like that aren't the same. So star marker here, this is the portal that melee will always run to, and circle, which is over here on the right where the raid's going to be going to, that's the portal that ranged always mark to. What I'm talking about is the spots that drop off the teleportation. I'm going to call those portals. Notice that our star marker here on the left, this one, is offset from the wall. And that's important because you don't want to put that star marker all the way onto the wall, because if you do that, when people get ported through it on one of the overlaps, they won't have room behind that, between that portal and the wall, to run against and kite the spirits for a sufficient amount of time. So that offset is very important. But let's start off and let's go through this through 80%, just to get a sense of how quick this fight comes. Actually very quick. So I do want to say we killed this on the last pull of the night, and I really didn't think this was happening. But it does show how close you are when you get to the immunity soak, which is the second overlap. So right at the start, just a lot of burn. You get traps. Traps can be cleared with Spell Reflect, AMZ, Icebound Fortitude, things like Human Racial, PvP trinkets, the Quantum Box trinket, things like that. So make use of those. Obviously, all other immunities, cloaks, that kind of thing will clear them. So here you see the weak core at the top. Tank, the Glyph Destruction, that's what we centered all our healing cooldowns around. It's a big spike of damage from the tank explosion. That is fall off damage, so you'll see us running out. Your good visual indicator, you basically want to clear these traps, the second set of traps, and you want to phase to phase 2. So here we are in phase 2. There's going to be a set of traps that comes out. I'm going to move the boss a bit. The reason I move the boss is the 2 seeds that come out after this. This will be the first set of seeds. Okay, they spawn like over here-ish, and then one should spawn over here-ish. What we were having is, if I didn't move this boss, the seeds can be tricky to click if the boss is and the melee stack is over the top of them. Again, you need all that time to move the seeds. So I really like this kind of gradual movement here to get them away from those traps a little bit. And you should see the seed spawn. Again, tank POV here. So you see these dimensional portals go out. Now we're going to have a little bit of dodging, and then the first seeds come out. If you don't do that push, there's the 2 seeds, then I get a tank debuff. Whoever's doing this moon seed really has to be conscious of this tank explosion. And then we're going back, which you'll see here. Okay, this is kind of tough to talk about because it wasn't really in my viewpoint. Okay, so let me do my best. You see these ghosts? Okay, these ghosts right here are about as far as they should be. This ghost is too close, and the reason this happened is because people will, you know how we were at the entrance of the room? What you want to do with this set of ghosts, this is the second set of ghosts that you're kiting. What you want to do with this is you want to have your back pointed towards the entrance of the room, and you want to be around where I had the boss before I leaped away, okay? So around that, where we have our blue marker, you want to be over there, and you want to have your back towards the entrance. And what that does is it spawns these ghosts right here, and then you don't have to do any of this tricky shit that you see people doing over here already, where like they'll run past. I mean, this is a great play to run past it, and then I think they demonic circle back. So that's fine as long as they figure that out, but if you drop the ghosts so that they're near the entrance of the room, you don't have to worry about it because you'll actually have enough time before that. Remember, the seeds just exploded here. So they can't take that portal until those seeds explode. And the way that we phased this fight makes this completely doable. You just have to make sure that these ghosts spawn kind of near the entrance by facing your back towards it. So make sure that your ranged is aware of that. That will save you so many mind controls. So many. Trust me, we have like 70 wipes on this boss, which is way too many. This will save you some of those. Okay, so the ghosts get kited through. Everybody's good to go. We get a little bit of burn time here. Okay, always be aware. Snap your neck up when these traps come out. We started calling every set of traps that we could. It really helps.
If you're not a runner, though, please be careful not to pick up seeds. That's
okay, so here come portals, and we're going to soon... We're going to be holding DPS, okay? Like I said, 210 to 220 mark. Tank damage is going to go out, and then we're going to kind of slowly start inching over towards diamond. You see 63% on the boss in that top right corner of my screen.
I'm the clearer boss.
And then we get a little bit of warning not to push yet.
Okay, let's pick it up.
Okay, and here we want to phase basically right as these seeds happen. And what's going to happen here is these seeds are going to explode, okay? And we basically get spirits right after, and the timing works out real nice. Alright, We're going to get one more set of traps. This is what I call spicy traps because we're very close to where we're running for the first overlap. And so we get some clears here. Suck. The big suck. So what you want for this, if you have it available, and I hope you do, is you want 2 sets of movement cooldowns for each one of these. What we ended up doing, we were actually missing one of our druids on the kill. So we ended up doing 2 movement cooldowns on the first one. It's 1 roll right at the start and then another roll midway through just to overlap them so there's no gap. And then a spirit link for the second overlap, and then the double roars again because they'll be back up. So we're going to get sucked. What you want to do here is you want to be up against purple, you want to run against the wall, and then all you need is that movement cooldown. But you have to get over there if you're in the middle of the room, kind of where the boss is right now, and you have the movement cooldown. You're going to need to use a movement ability to close that gap. You have to be really close to the wall for this strategy to work. So we'll get a roar here shortly.
I need a cover here.
There's the roar. Sorry about the bad camera angle here. This is actually pretty spicy tank damage right here. And what you see here, okay, we got seeds. So first overlap is suck, and then you get seeds and spirit pretty much at the same time. So what has to happen here is right about when that suck ends, everybody has to have their back pointed towards the middle so the ghosts spawn out towards the middle. And then as soon as, if you're fixated by a ghost, as soon as the suck ends, you go through the portal. You stay over there, you kind of waddle around until the seeds are about to explode, and then you take the portal back. Okay, and then you should come out with plenty of time before the explosion, and just come reappear back to the. So they do a pretty good job here. Again, plenty of room here with the seeds. And this is hero. Right here after the first overlap, this is hero. Boss was at like 50-something%, and I'm going to leap away here with Avatar, big sad. You see where you're using AMZ there for that tank dam, that kind of thing. And then I used to charge into the boss, but you got to be careful charging in because of the way that charge works. Sometimes if there's a bad trap, you just charge right into the trap. So the next the next seed carry here, again, there's a lot of downtime. Okay, the next seed carry here is going to be the immunes. I'm sorry, I know this is getting long, but we underestimated this boss 100%, and we played it a little, kind of banged our head against it. So here you see that we just got ghosts, and the important one about this one, okay, you see the wind rush go down. People are going to need to be on that other side. I was talking about this with that yellow portal. People are going to need to be on that other side and kiting these ghosts, so they need the movement cooldown before they go through the portal. Okay, so that's why this wind rush gets placed as late as it does and as close to the portal as it does. So the people are there on the other side. The immune pickups here, they pick the seed up, then they just get sucked to the middle, blow their immunity, and then run the seeds the rest of the way. Pretty straightforward when you do have an immunity. Had to hide quite a bit here, but we made it. And this is what I talked about limping. If you live this immune overlap, okay, you're good to go.
I'll be taking skull. Can I get
Tank damage?
Chibi, can you cover green?
Okay. And then we're kind of burning.
Even if you have to kill yourself, just leap over there.
And now we're just trying to figure out how to cover the next seeds, because the next seeds really is just get the seeds to star and live it, and then you're good to go. What I'll show you about on the next suck, I actually make that mistake I was talking about, where I don't get close enough to the wall.
Oh yeah, hold on. Pick up Callow. Pick up Callow.
Yep, got him.
So we realize we have a BRS for mage, so we get that. Keep the arms warring for for execute. Now we're all getting excited. Oh my god, it's last pull. So right here, yeah, like I said, I was a little late because we were trying to bait the traps there, and then we all kind of get caught with our pants down a little bit.
Yeah, cracks.
Okay, they overlap roars, and here I started got sucking in, and I burn leap, which is a bad idea because I needed for a tank dam right here. So I just call out, all right, tank dam, and then you just kite seeds. This third overlap's pretty chill. The spirits kind of come pretty late, so plenty of time to DPS it away. This AMZ was huge here. because my tank damage was big. I actually had Speller Flick there, probably could have lived it, but I was kind of low going out. We were down 2 healers, and then just limp it, and get the kill. So, I know long video. Hopefully this makes sense. I really hope it helps.
Mission accomplished.
So, a lot of excitement here. It was a pleasant surprise, but we banged our head against this quite a bit. So, hope this helps, and I'll see you for the next one. Thanks.
Right.